All right, ladies and gents, good evening, and welcome into a little mid-afternoon, I guess you want to call this like the drive home edition of A Different View. I want to get a few things out of the way here because we're going to hop right in. This is not a continuation in the relationship series. For those who have caught on, started listening to my podcast, want to definitely thank y'all for your support. It is the power. See, again, like GameStop came out with that a long time ago, that power to the players thing. I don't know if they really go that hard with it as they used to, but again, I could just be recording and doing recordings and nobody be hearing a thing if there was no reaction from the fans, if there was no love shown from the listener. So y'all are the heart of the thing here, and that's a pretty cool thing. Just as much as the information that I give out, y'all's support, y'all's participation, even dropping ideas and notes and lines and all that kind of thing, and even concerns. You guys make this thing happen. So today is going to be a little bit of a continuation of some stuff that we have been talking about already, specifically concerning this message that we saw. And I would be remiss to not say this because we said this last time. Shout out one time for International Women's Day, huh? I mean, just an all-out shout-out, applause, right? Applause to the women of planet Earth, man. All over this planet, holding it down. Excuse me. If I could be so bold to the men here, just saying it, fellas. They kick a cold game trying to do this against women thing. They kicking a cold, because at the end of the day, you keep fighting with the person that you need is your help, man. You ain't got a shot. You ain't got a shot. I know. They feed that machismo down your throat like you don't need nobody. That's part of the illusion, man. That is part of the illusion. And I know some ladies will be cheering in the back, and rightfully so here. But here is the challenge to both men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, myself, right, included, okay? The pitfalls that are there, yes, we know. We are justified and sanctified and upheld in a thought that we are needed, that we have purpose. We are our own entities, not to be bartered or sold for, right? Yeah, that's absolutely, amen to that, right? Preaching to the choir and all that kind of thing, as they say. Say it louder for them in the back. We're our own entities to not be bartered with, and that's part of the problem here. Bartered, old school word. You're the bargaining chip. I'm not your poker chips on the table. They ain't playing no games with me. My life means something, right? So, and it's in that mindset and attitude that you got to walk there. That's what's helped my life a lot, guys. Is realizing a lot of this mess they've been saying, and even biblically, a lot of this mess they've been saying, they making up stuff on our holy creator, y'all. So they can take and keep on taking, but not no more, not with me. Not over here. So, and again, to each their own, but shout out one time, International Women's Day. So, and like I said last year when we started around Father's Day, don't worry, ladies, Mama's Day is coming. Your boy KJ got something to say on every topic that there is. We've learned a little bit of life here. I've been paying attention, and this is what y'all seeing in real time. So, thank you, ladies, for all that you do, whether domestically or non-domestically, in every area of life. including on the birthing table and beyond, whether it's been in science, whether it's been in sports, whether it's been in finance, whether it's been in any health care, it does not matter. Truly, indeed, y'all are a powerful entity. So we just got to say that to say, and we're saying that to hop into this part again. Not really part of this series, but just a spin-off here. We take the time to, again, give honor where honor's due, y'all. The mamas, the grandmamas, the aunties, the nieces, sisters. Matter of fact, the sisters to the brothers of planet Earth. Thank you very much. The life givers. Thank y'all very much. So, let's get into some of the reactionary stuff here. I may have done some, but I don't think I did. Some of these I do double takes on some of these episodes just to have them right when we want to make sure that we have them right here when we send them out to y'all. So sometimes there's certain things I've thought I've said I haven't yet. So relationship side notes. So we're going to go a little line by line here. One of the things that minister had said from predominantly known part of the church. See, guys, it doesn't matter whether charismatic, Catholic. Again, I understand that the ruffles that I feather when I start talking like this, but it needs saying. Again, to my Christian brothers and sisters, if judgment can't start in the house of God, there's a problem. And we look real silly with many times the Bible talks about it with your chest puffed out like you know what you're talking about, and in reality, you're far from it because you don't know how tainted the water is in which you got the knowledge. Which is why you're told to study, so that you know what you're talking about. Because there is too much mess, even closest to the most holiest of things, to have you messed up in your thinking. This is all part of that renewing of the mind process. Never down somebody. Just some people don't know this word. And then we're going to get into this thing here, because this is what's more important than that. I just got to address the issue here. There's nothing more important in the power than your mind, y'all. God put some gray matter between your ears. Whether you got big ones, small ones, tiny earlobes, whatever, it don't matter. You got powerful mind there. Train it, use it. Use it and use it well. Because there's way too much deception in too many places. Unfortunately. Again, like I've told y'all before, it doesn't make the thing any less powerful or potent. But you still got to go search a thing. And it's a very true statement when they say the traditions of people, and those traditions go a long way across a lot of people. The traditions of people make God's words non-effective. That's how I say it. In the King James, it says of non-effect or none-effect. We're shutting down the thing here thinking we know what we're talking about, guys. It's one thing. Ain't nothing anti-Semitic I'm about to say. There is one thing between the holy words of God that are spoken and then all of the tradition that was written around it. I'm just saying, y'all. Again, you're talking man's reaction. When we spoke on worship a couple of episodes ago, you're talking about the human reaction back in gratitude to our most wondrous creator. That's the point, guys and gals. And that expression does not look like what you think it does. It just don't. This is why Jesus had a certain type of disciples that he had around him. No. Again, the stuff, Bible talks about the stuff that is considered dumb to confound the wise, or those who consider themselves wise. See, again, everything is put on a certain platform here. Everything is put on a certain platform here, y'all. All right, so let's just get in here. One of the first ones was controlling who we date. Just to do you control, do you date? Yes. So that wouldn't matter what culture. Okay. So when you're talking about the reason you can't marry someone interracially or interculturally, that is a misnomer. Okay, and again, because racism was created by those who are very greedy at the core, along with hateful. Okay, that's where you have this impropriety in relationships, and all of this, just like this episode we just finished talking about, reparations is a moot point. But when you start throwing greed in there and who's owning who and all that, it goes out the window. So you can control anybody who you date. Matter of fact, most people need to show more. Again, we talked about this thing that I had heard from another person's podcast. So before we go on here, like as my original thought, it wasn't. It was just an awesome thought to think. It's more than just 20 questions to talk to somebody. You got to talk to somebody. See, and that's the one thing, in talking about relationships, you got to get down with a person's interests. You really want to know them. You got to know the stuff they're interested in. Now, see, I said you got to know it. See, some things people don't really care about. They just kind of glance and pass over it. Like when you get them veggies on your plate and you're out with some friends and you're just trying to be, nice about it. I know everybody doesn't do this, but some people do this, so just to make it look like you did a thing, you had a couple of green beans, maybe a little bit of that zucchini with a little cute floret on it, depending on the restaurant you went to, right? That's what it's like when you're in a superficial relationship with someone. It's just kind of, and what is that? Is that really even a relationship? Because again, if it is joining on affinity, that's the most basic kind of. It's not. There's no lastingness to it, right? So you got to get to the point where it's deep and meaningful. And if you're gonna get in a relationship like that, you got to know that person in and out. Stuff you don't want to know. I'm sorry, y'all. Hey, unless you want to be surprised one day. And some people are okay with that. Some people are actually okay with that. Again, to each their own. That's about that thing with control. And then next one here, not racist, prejudiced. You're not racist or prejudiced because you set down the rule to not date in other cultures. Or those sort of rules was the quote that was the quote the minister said. So, if you're telling me that you're on purpose, no, we're just gonna get to the heart of the matter here, because a lot of this is what this deals with. If you are telling me as two parents, a parent, however you get it done. I'm done on this other thing here. We talk about broken homes, and while that's a thing, we shouldn't be using it as and again. It is necessary, but people use things and they twist them to hurt. I'm not saying that to use it as a crutch, but the way it is used is if you have no shot, no chance. And again, you have less of a chance. And it is by grace that you get through it, okay? We're not negating the power that it is, talking about International Women's Day, the single mothers out there. Left there by many times men who have not grown up a little bit. Just to see again, I don't think more highly of myself than I ought to think. We all fall, okay? And when I say we all, I mean we all. However, it's time to point out certain things. No different than we talk about racism, sexism, which is where this falls into with sexism. Men thinking that it's cool to, be Magic Mike in the bedroom, just to say it is without being too colorful. And then you woo and you whine and you dine these women. And then you impregnate them and you bounce. That's a problem, guys. It's a problem. But you know what? Because of the garbage that has been put in front of you to watch and to hear and to read. This is what we come up with, and it's vice versa the same for women. Again, this is why I talk about with sexual things, you have freedom and you should live sexually free. But there's a responsibility to the thing. Again, you got to think in certain cultures, they walked around each other on some fig. We read it, y'all. Fig leaves. They wasn't making nothing elaborate. Yeah, and I know what you're going to say. Yeah, hey, but then they went and they got some animals and they made some stuff out of it. Yeah, I know what you're going to say. Again, you go into societies, y'all, Ain't no rape and stuff like that going on. That's a stereotype they want you to think. There's nothing wrong with nudity. There's something wrong with people with nudity. That's the difference. Again, that's the renewing in the mind there, where it's not a bad thing, or you lose all control. You have control of yourself. Bible talks about this a lot. So when they talk that mess about rape, now folks are making a decision to hurt somebody. Again, we understand we listen. The defenses in the mind are heavy, and some of them because people have hurt people and said some very hurtful things, so they've come up with a defense. We understand. But a lot of this stuff, y'all. So when you talk about racist or prejudice, yeah, everybody dislikes some stuff or likes some stuff. But we're talking about where that thing now goes into stopping somebody. You better watch it. You better watch it, man. You messing on some poltergeist holy ground, yeah. I ain't having my TV frizz on me in the middle of what I'm doing. Oh man, yeah. Hey, I know I'm getting right down deep into into the kids' bedroom here with the parents and all that kind of thing. Again, I told you, one of these relationships is parent-child, y'all. You got to watch that mess. Don't put that garbage in your baby's soul. Don't you do it. Don't you put it before their eyes and their ear. You want to talk about stuff with the transgender thing? Here's another one. You date and love who you want to. Now, come on. When we're talking about this thing with other cultures and stuff, and that for me personally, that's anybody in general. Again, I understand most of my Christian brothers and sisters on here are gonna have a problem with the homosexual thing, and that's fine. We can have a conversation on the back end. Again, keep the thing respectful, y'all. But at the end of the day, here, yeah, no. You can get real quick racist with it. I don't want my daughter around, and then start treating the other one. Lord, I'm glad I get a chance to talk about it. You treat the other one like, now we talk, especially like with Christians too, man. I believe in Jesus. You gonna sit there. Jesus love everybody. Don't suffer the little kid to come unto me, right? You see, y'all are so, and see, okay, there's a perfect world. No. Did y'all see what happened in the perfect world? Because we've been part of a perfect world here before. I know people, again, DID is a real thing, y'all. So y'all disassociate from the thing. But we had a perfect world here before. I know a Christian's going to tell me, Satan was cast from heaven, there's a little tainted room. God, sorry. See, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses for the thing to be what it is, and start making excuses why it could be something else. Done on the nose, wherever the yes is at, right? Y'all have heard me say this on this podcast before. What did Adam and Eve do in a perfect world? They had the chance to do the right thing. I'm sorry, don't you do it. Y'all don't fall for the trap. What did they do in that perfect world? They themselves screwed it up, didn't they? This is why ain't no such thing as sexism. Men and women screwed that up. The man, the one, even you won't put the men so quick. So this is set the precedent for when you like kicking that help, man. Lord, y'all like kicking that help, man. Can we say anything to help him? Anything? Anyway, same thing for the babies. Anything we can we just got to keep. One of these verses talks about mother-in-law versus, let me just find it real quick. I may have said it before, but we're just gonna find it real quick. Yeah, no. Start giving due. Lord, start giving due. So this is things to watch out here. This is talking about this relationships and marriage and all that. Here you go. Luke 12 again. Jesus talking about what's coming in the beginning of the last days. What's coming, right? So 53. The father shall be divided against the son. There you go. The son against the father. Just flip it. Just flip it around, because again, that's what the verse just did, right? So just flip it around. So they double down on it as you continue to read. The mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother. So now just flip the parents in and out. Fathers against daughters, and sons against mothers, and it's a royal rumble of sickness going on here, y'all. But you can put a stop to that. You know how? You tap into love. See, again, at the beginning of all this, the great love of the body of people grows cold. How do you preserve and keep, right? We're down here to dress and keep it. How do you stem the tide, as the phrase goes? How do you hold that back a little bit? Not showing love toward people. Drop the divisions. Most of them are garbage anyway. Again, I'm not saying that a bunch of them don't have some. Much of them are garbage, y'all. We're sitting here divided over a mess we should not be. You choose to believe to not eat pork. I choose to. What really? We enemies now? See, this is why Hagar and Sarah and Abram and Ishmael and Isaac could not all live together. There wasn't nothing unholy there. People didn't want to live together in peace. The Bible doubles down on the thought by telling you, do all possible to live in peace. And the challenge ain't went nowhere. It's time for us to pick it up. So here's another one. The mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And you just flip it around. Again, just switch out, and you can see all of the wild stuff that's happening. Break. You talk about generational curses, racism's right there. You don't want your kids dealing with that mess, then you raise them up from the jump that we don't do this garbage around here. Don't care what grandpa talking about. I'm talking about being that bold. Y'all, that's what you're going to do. You're going to let the family just drag you down the tubes there? How does that work? Y'all can get mad at me if you want. We just, hey, again, the truth is an offense, right? We just say what it is, man. Again, and especially to my Christian brothers and sisters, you telling me Jesus loved me? He loved me in my dark skin, I tell you that. Just like he loved you in your light or medium caramel skin or, butter pecan, whatever you got. What are we doing? So there's a difference on those two things. If you don't want mixed relationships, then you do something about it. I don't know about y'all, but what are we even talking about right there? So again, are you going to stop someone who has a true connection with somebody like that solely because they have a different skin tone? Is that what we're about? But you're not racist, though. If you don't y'all see that how the double talk happens when you got that kind of mess going on? It's like people who say, "Oh yeah, I'm cool with black folks. I got a couple black friends." What does that mean? You just cool with folks, man. We just cool with people. Wouldn't the conversation be like, yes, we show respect to the different to the nationalities of all the different people that you know? That it doesn't matter which one, and even more so to those, see, nobody talks like this. Even more so to those who have been held down in this society, nobody talk like that. You know why? Because you have been brainwashed to talk differently. So when the subject comes up, here's your auto response that kicks in. You don't even realize it. You don't. You don't unless you step away, you see? And you start to examine some stuff, and then it becomes a real harsh change. Like, whoa, what the heck have I been doing? In all the different areas of life like that. So, y'all take that one for what it is. Here's the next one. Mentions how many in the congregation are black as a validation for the result being talked about. I write really small. The result being talked about, which again is a non-issue. And I start this here. Marry who you choose, who is suitable for you. So again, you're speaking this stuff, which is straight garbage, to be honest with you. And what you say as validation. So we just talked about this with black. I got a couple black friends. Or maybe you want to look like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, everybody wearing dashikis and stuff like that. Again, this is just as disrespectful. So we're talking about what's at the core of this stuff. Behind every law, all this stuff, y'all, is this garbage. You want to fix the thing and make it better. You're really talking about change. This is where you start. How you view people. Anything sitting there telling you how bad people are, and yet your creator made all people, you ought to check that mess at the door. I don't care what source it comes from. You got to have that level of boldness. And you got to have that love and in tune-ship, if I don't want to say it that way, or be that in tune with the powers of love, with the powers of passion and sex, with the powers that have been put here, abilities that have been put here for us to use for good. You feel that mess coming from a mile away when you have separated and trained your mind a different way. Oh, this is for real. Anyway, You marry who's suitable for you, y'all. You date who's suitable for you. You're friends with people who are... See, again, much of this stuff was... We already talked about how friendship is the thing that'll carry it through. And when the sex thing ain't doing so good, when you're not so turned on, that person done gain a couple pounds and stuff. When you're that friend, there's certain things there that'll kick in that passion drive. Anyway, hey... people just gonna keep going on the old rabbit trail. They're not, they just hopping along. They don't. All the meanwhile, you got the wolf ready to eat your. Anyway. Again, suitable for you, man. It's got to connect. It's got to be a thing, and sometimes you got to be out there in the game in order to do it. You can't do it sitting from the sidelines, man. It's like a game. You got to get out there in it. That don't mean every person you date, you got to knock them up. Oh, Lord, man. Again, that friendship thing. Ask questions. Know about this person, man. Every single one of them. And go to certain, again, we sit the time and take time to watch these cat videos. Go look up this stuff, y'all, while y'all scrolling through TikTok and all that. Hey, whoop, let me put a pause button on it. So when you see my For You page, you know what should show up there too? So on top of the buff guy and the good-looking woman and, whatever fancy cars and houses and stuff, certain things like about relationship information. Certain things about yourself, because again, if you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you know who else you got to relate to? Yourself. You got to be okay with yourself. Many people are not okay with themselves. How can you relate to me and you don't relate to you yet? It don't work well. This is why I don't sit there and poo-poo therapy. You look at your health, look at your health insurance, see what you can get for a good price, and man, you sit down in that chair, man. And don't have no mamby-pamby, have somebody willing to challenge you. See, again, we're talking suitable for you. There's levels to this stuff, okay? You don't sit there on the baby stage and just no, I want to grow. I want to learn more. There's more than this mess. I come from a great designer and creator that has made me expansive. It's the same for everybody else. I'm not learning on first grade level no more, y'all. I'm older now. I'm learning on a higher... Anyway. Anyway. Next one here. Intercultural relationships having problems. Well, my question as soon as I heard this thing was, what problems you talking about, sir? Because again, a marriage is a marriage. A relationship is a relationship. You ain't supposed to be having no problems. Which ones are we talking about? Oh, you mean the ones where folks are driven by the same greed that has built this country you're in that we keep praying for. Like that mess gonna go away without the personal interaction of the citizen saying, ain't gonna happen here yet. We're not on that level yet. And see, this is a challenge to everybody. Okay? This is why if everybody else don't want to pick up that token to preserve yourself, black men and women, you have to go. And this goes for any other culture. We have to separate. Still part of the human race. We got to separate. What you going to do? Sit there and always be the laughing stock of the game? No. That wouldn't be dressing and keeping yourself, would it? I told you I want you to introduce belief into this. It gets worse. I told you. Folks don't realize, man, when you introduce belief, I'm not talking about that fluff they got out there, but when you start looking at raw, true belief, the rules and the design that is left here in the game, yeah, a lot of this mess go right by the wayside. Much of this mess goes by the wayside. No, the problems I got to deal with is somebody got to look at me and my wife. Lord in heaven, let me say a thing right now. I hate to, again, you want to make this thing safe. You know another reason they pull guns on folks? Because they're intercultural marriages walking down the street. They shoot them down just the same. But you don't think so? All you need to do is go back in history and look at it. Different lynchings for this mess. I'm not going to get too graphic with y'all, but I could. Hanging folks. Doing all type of gross, nasty mess to them. Abusing them, gutting them like fish. Man. I can hold myself back there. I can hold myself back. This evil is for real, guys. If it does not stir up certain emotions in you, I'm sorry. Man, I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all, man. It's wrong. Folks messing with people on the jobs, y'all know, just because they are a dip, man, Lord. And see, again, there's no more time for this garbage, guys and gals. There's no more time. And this ain't about no perfect world. I re-reference to y'all what happened the last time there was a perfect world scenario going on. These people drop the ball worse than what you watch in one of them bloopers, you know, them baseball bloopers. We used to play them a lot back in the day. Or even you see the ones with football, you know, somebody fumbles the ball and stuff. But, you know, those baseball bloopers, these guys trying to catch the ball, skipping and fumbling, and that's exactly what humans look like. That's what we look like. Over simple stuff we're supposed to be able to execute, and just because we don't want to. So that's the problems that intercultural relationships got to go through. Next, parents doing something about what they don't like their kids doing. Let's see. That the church is not responsible for that. And this will go for any life issue with this. But again, they're talking, he is saying this in terms of intercultural relations. Again, like, this is so wrong. Number one, when we bring up the who's not the responsible here, it takes an African proverb, y'all remember it very clearly. It takes a village to raise a child. Like I do with biblical stuff, take that proverb, take the word child out, and put anything there to raise a marriage, to raise a business, to raise a society. It takes a village. So don't sit there and tell me that those who are responsible over passing along belief and things that deal in the ideas of life and godliness, as the phrase goes, is not your responsibility. See, again, this is how this nation was built, off people not upholding their responsibility to leave people alone and let them live in peace, instead of thinking that they're savages and all the other stupid stuff that was pumped in their brains incorrectly. And we mucked up the game doing it. That now parents have more pressure on them to parent their children because of this gross garbage. But again, what is the response that y'all do? You go join up together in some stupid January 6th insurrection trying to what? Do you know before the violence came, they made up treaties, they did deals behind people's backs. Now, what do you think would be the opposite if you was doing this in the right mindset to obtain that which was taken from you? Without the violent part, how does that look? What does it look like? We can go back into history and look at a lot of them that have had what they call landmark events. And of course, a lot of bloodshed was shed because of the fact that people do not want to share. Not because the people who were wanting their freedom were violent. Two totally different things. Let's go on to the next one. Let's see where we are. I got about, we'll do one more here and then we'll stop. Because again, we're not trying to overflood people's minds, man. But we will continue in this. This will be a little continuation. Because I want to get through these points. I want y'all to know. Again, this is a video that you can watch on your own because it is on YouTube. Okay. But I want y'all to hear it from me because again, a lot of those who are the believers. And this is not to down my brothers and sisters. See, again, it's part of a family, okay? But at the end of the day, wrong is wrong. When you see grandpa doing some foul stuff, we don't sit back and talk about his pawpaw. Come on now. Wrong is wrong. when we finish off this parenting thing, we're going to get into it, and then we're just going to say it because, again, repetition is necessary for learning. Parents, stop provoking your kids to wrath. I don't even know how else to say it. I'm so done, actually, on everybody talking about how the kids need to be so obedient while the parents are being total jackasses to their kids. That's the only way I can say it. That's the only way I can say it. Mean as can be. You have allowed your poison to poison your babies. And then sit there and blame your babies as you are poisoning them. You don't. What are we doing? Again, when they talk about people who talk about things and stuff like that, no. You don't, how that there's something wrong, or you got anger issues. No, ain't got no more than the next person, okay? At the end of the day, it takes a boldness to say a thing. Because people just sitting around, not saying a thing. Don't talk about politics, Don't talk about religion, and we just around here we just don't talk about finances. And question, ladies and gentlemen, how in the world do we get better on something if we don't talk about it? So we just talked to y'all about what happens during war. What do they shut down? What's one of the main things they shut down? Communications. You can't talk to nobody about nothing. How do you get better? How do you learn things? You don't, do you? No, you don't. So maybe we want to relook into how we talk to folks when we talk to folks about things. And maybe we be around people in which we can freely talk about certain things, because without talking about a thing, you never get any ideas. And without a vision, the people perish. And because you reject knowledge, you will perish. This is stuff we've talked about on this podcast before. We gonna end on you know what, we won't. We'll just stop right here. Okay, we're just gonna put a pause in it right here, and then we'll start on those last 6 the next time around. Because again, your boy, as y'all can tell, your boy can go a little bit. he can go a little bit. I hope there's some things here that helped y'all today. I really do. I really, really, really do. Because again, this is we all we got, y'all. we all we got, man. This is ain't no miracle coming down. That revival stuff they talking about, yeah, we understand that part of it. And we're not going to negate things that happen, as people say, supernaturally and stuff like that. I'm not going to negate that stuff. But what we're talking about here is that folks are looking for that superhuman pie in the sky thing. That's not, no. The power's in you. We got to use it. It's time for us to use it. It's time for us to really love each other, like on the real. We need hands. No more of that. Time to defend each other from this mess. Don't talk to me about that victim life. Talk to me about that bully life, man. Talk to me about empowering victim life. That's what I want to know about, man. Because you don't address that bully part and how people are supposed to respond, man. We in for some trouble. So we will continue down this road, y'all, because again, like I said, I'm done watching what I've been seeing. It's time for knowledge to really get out there instead of people speaking their own thing. And again, while everybody got their own choices to do as they so choose on this platform, we're gonna do the opposite. So thank y'all very much for walking this road with me today. Again, shout out to Spotify for podcasters for giving a platform here whereby people can speak the truth on subjects and share knowledge and information that is most important in building any and all communities. So, and as always, look to find the beauty in a different view.